Go ahead, we're all set.
Okay, Joanne, thank you. And welcome everyone to the February 4th, 2026 meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission. I will open with the roll call. Mr. Chiocchio,
Here.
Ms. Hofstetter,
Here.
Mr. Nazario,
Here.
and Chairman Finaldi is here. So we do have a quorum and we do not have any alternates to seat. I did ask Joanne, we were supposed to get another new member, forgive me, Alaya Novas, I believe that's the pronunciation. But apparently up to this point, we're not really sure what her status is. So I'm not really sure what the status of that new member is, and we'll just put that one aside for now.
I will follow up on it, Arnie, and let you know. Thank you.
And before I get to the agenda, and I will have a more formal, announcement when we get deeper in. There were two items under continuation of public hearings. The number one was BRT Sconset, and the number two was Danbury Mill Plain Realty LLC. Just in case anyone had tuned in for either one of those applications, we have received requests from both applicants to continue both matters until our next meeting. So if anyone was tuning in to hear testimony or give testimony on either one of those, we will not be doing that this evening. And like I said, I'll make the formal announcement when we get there. Commission members, the minutes of the January 21st, 2026 meeting were previously distributed. Unless there's any corrections or discussion, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept those minutes.
Second.
Second, Helen, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are accepted. Let the record show our next meeting is scheduled for February 18th, 2026. And before we get to the capital improvement plan, I will just read the standard Zoom intro. This meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission is being held on Zoom as a virtual meeting. Even though this meeting is a virtual meeting, members of the public and interested parties continue to have the opportunity to participate in the meeting in a couple of different ways. You can participate via Zoom and see the audio and the video, or you can call in by phone and participate via audio only. Please be aware that we may have to mute your microphone or telephone to avoid an echo or some other background noise. Instructions on how to participate in the meeting appear on the City of Danbury website. All of the documents and materials that apply to the matters to be discussed during this meeting, including the agenda, are also available on the City of Danbury website. As always, if you have any questions regarding how to participate in the meeting, please contact the City of Danbury Planning and Zoning Department. As a reminder, the entire meeting will be posted on and can be seen on the City of Danbury website. We will follow the posted agenda as per standard practice. If prior to the meeting, any questions or comments on agenda items were submitted via email to the Planning and Zoning Department, those comments will be read during the appropriate portion of the meeting. Finally, please remember that technology glitches do sometimes occur. Please be patient if that happens. We'll move right to the first item on our agenda for discussion and possible action. The proposed capital budget plan, financial year 26-27 to 31-32. I mentioned briefly to Waleed, particularly for the benefit of our newest member, Sydney. Waleed, if you would just give us a flyover what the capital improvement plan is, why it's important, and why this is a matter that comes before the Planning Commission. So I'll turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Chairman. So my intent is not actually to have a very long presentation. I would like to keep it more like a big picture, so to allow you to ask me questions after. But for the sake of the discussion, I will just talk about what the CIP is. It's a requirement by the state law legislation to have a general idea of how the city is going to spend money on big projects over 5 years, but we do it here 6 years. And the idea is each cycle of budget, which is annual, should be guided by the capital improvement plan. And it's also needed not just for the city to know how to allocate funding. It's very important for it to be adopted by the Planning Commission as well, to allow the fund department to seek funding outside of the city. So it's very important for the city budget as well as for applying for funding, be it the state funding or even federal funding. And it's by state law, it has to be adopted by the Planning Commission. So the way we do it here, we do it for 6 years. Legally speaking, it can be for 5 years, but just would like to actually have more of a time span. I will start by giving a big picture, and I hope that you found that this year's CIP was easier to understand. I'm talking about the Excel sheet. It has been greatly improved compared to what you used to see before. Back in like last year, for example, we were talking about, if I'm not mistaken, 28 different columns. They were very difficult for everybody to make sense of what it is, be it you as a planning commission or all the departments. So there was a lot of confusion about what each column stood for and the functions. If you look at the Excel sheet that was sent by Joanne, the latest one I'm talking about, you will see you have about total of 14 columns. I'm talking about each tab within the workbook or Excel workbook. Each one says what it is for. So once you go to any column and you actually look at it, something will pop up telling you that's what it is for. I would say compared to last year, for example, I didn't get any comments from any department about the logistics or what does this mean, except for one comment. That tells you how different it was. To give you an idea, last year I spent hundreds of hours talking to different departments to help out explain what it is for. That's kind of the background of what it is about. I am not going to touch on all the aspects unless you would like to stay here until 2 in the morning. I would be happy. I'm not sure if you would be. But anyway, I will try to share my screen with you to give you some of the highlights. Hey, Joanne, if you don't mind, please. Can you all see this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's small, but yeah.
I'm going to actually point at some numbers here. There are lots of numbers, but to give you an idea, this year, this number here was 699 plus millions. This is the total required over 6 years. And to give you an idea about how different it is from last year, the total number was 795 million. If you compare it with what we have, this is about what? 96 million less. And the main reason why is, if you recall, last year, the city actually opened the new high school. I'm talking about the one on the west side. That made a huge difference in terms of what we are asking for. And again, this huge number, it's over 6 years. It's not for 1 year. What is actually being asked for this financial year is this number here. I'm just trying to find it. It will be 136,517,000. It's more than last year. Last year was 129. And I will explain why this number is bigger when I'm actually giving you more highlights. Moving actually on, I will start by talking about what is different from last year. Very quickly, for example here, which I explained before, if you look at the total number of columns, it's about 14, very easy to see, and you don't have to shift over each time. And this is what I was talking about. If you actually, you don't have to click. If you go over any column, it will tell you exactly what it is for. I don't know if you can see this. Sometimes it's slow. I will just see. It's not working now, but maybe if you do it on your Excel sheet, you will see what I'm talking about. And all the whole idea is we would like to know for the CIP, the total cost, is the money coming from the city or is it coming from a different source, and how it will be spent over 6 years. That's the goal of the CIP. For whatever reason, over the last 20 years, it kept changing to the point that few, if any, understood what the sheet is about. Now it's way easier. You don't need anybody to explain it to you. One thing that we added this year, and I'm gonna go all the way here to the end of the sheet I have. This tab here, Assessment Office, we didn't have it before. It's being added for the first time. The reason is they would like to buy a new vehicle, which is about $24,000. And every 5 years, they have to do a whole assessment of the city. That will cost about $500,000.
Ugh.
So this is a new tab that didn't exist last year, for example. And because I am from planning, I will go and talk about what planning is asking for. What we're asking for in terms of the planning needs, we're asked for contingency of 600,000 for the downtown projects. The downtown project is totally administrated by planning and not engineering. And we are starting phase 2 this summer, and we need to have a contingency of 600,000 because, just to give you an idea, the more you start digging, which you must have seen it, I hope, in downtown, the more work you find out that you need to do. For example, we are into a lot of old infrastructure. We need to upgrade our traffic signals. All of that has to actually come from somewhere. That's why we would like to have the contingency. Another one, we're asking for 200,000. It's because of the new housing mandate that came from the state. I'm sure you have been following the new housing mandates. We need to act very quickly. So we need to have this in case we actually end up having to hire a consultant, which we would need at some point. Another one we're asking for from planning is we need to update our watershed regulations. They are over 20 years old, and I'm sure you know it already. It has a lot of redundant sections and sections that are outdated. So we need a consulting engineering company to review what we have and look at improvements. Now I will move on to talk about some of the entries that we have. I'm talking only about the big ones. So usually the big ones come from engineering, water, or sewer. To give you an idea here, I don't know if you can see item number 23, which is project 16. That's one of the biggest asks. It's $54 million. And it is over more than 1 year. And the reason is, it's because of the PFAS treatment, which is federal requirement now. So there's no way out of it. Also, another big ask is 11,800,000. It's for water distribution or improvements as well. Another big ask, which is the one from sewage. I know there needs to be improvement to the west side sewage line, which is over $20 million.
Wow.
Another big ask is over $3 million for Mill Plain sewage extension. There are other asks also from water, but they are not as significant as the ones I just mentioned. One thing I would like to point out is that, and thank you for actually, Bob, for pointing this out. There's an entry here that has been entered twice by different departments. And I'm going to actually, I have the note here. So under the building, public buildings, I'm just looking for the tab here. Yep. There's one entry, which is $5 million. Bear with me, I'm just looking for it. So this one is being asked for the retaining wall at the Magnet School. It's $5 million. It was entered under public build as well as under construction. So I will ask you, Mr. Chairman, when you are actually adopting it, to delete one of the two enters because they're exactly the same under different departments.
Okay, what were the two headings? One was public buildings.
And the other one was construction.
Okay.
And the same entry, 5 million for the retaining wall, like repairs to the retaining walls.
Okay, so the repairs to the retaining wall for 5 million was under two different categories, public buildings and construction, and we have to amend that to make sure it's only included under one. Okay.
Under one. Maybe I can find the second one. So what I'm showing here is one of the two. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
This item here.
yeah,
Yes.
So if I go to construction,
yeah. It's project number 5 under construction.
yeah, I'm just trying to find construction here.
It's all the way towards the beginning, yeah.
Okay. Yes, I find it here. And it's the one here. It's this one, which is item 12 or project number 5. I have it highlighted in yellow.
Okay.
I don't want to go on and on, but those were the main highlights I wanted to point out. I would like to just open the floor for discussions or any questions you might have. Should I stop sharing or would you like me to keep the Excel sheet?
You can keep the shared screen on there for now, Waleed. I'll first go to Mr. Kiokio. I did read the back and forth between you and Waleed. Were all your questions answered, Bob, or do you have any more?
I have a few, I guess, in general. There's a lot of bridge replacement activity going on. So are any of these candidates for funding from someone else other than the city, or are these all going to be on the city's dime here? Because I mean, there's a fair amount of them, and it's a fair amount of dollars if you add them all up.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Chairman, what I know is some of them can apply for funding. Some of it actually can apply to funding for FEMA and also other state programs, but none of it is guaranteed. So my understanding is they were submitted under funding from the city for now, but this will allow engineering to apply for different funding opportunities. But again, to be clear here, and this is, I know this for a fact, over the last 20 or even 15 years, city has applied for a lot of funding. It doesn't mean you will be successful at landing all the cost. You will be lucky if you get a portion of the cost.
And do you know if they're going to try to do one of these a year, or how, the kind of the time frame? I mean, it seems as though they're, and I know this is kind of throw everything at the wall, and then once they do the whole budget, they determine actually the dollars that really can be allocated towards the capital plan. It's not going to be anywhere near the 100 and whatever million you show there. It's probably going to be more in the probably 5 to 10 maybe,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. But so it's just what I just curious as to how they determine which ones really need to be. I mean, need to be done, or how they pick, and they all seem to be urgent.
Well, this has been actually put on the back burner for many, many years.
Yeah.
So what is going on now is engineering saying to us, meaning the whole city, hey, we have an issue. Most of them are urgent. We know that we are not going to get funding for all of them, but we are putting everything out there so everybody knows that there's an issue.
Okay.
And of course, city will have to be strategic. They will have to see which one needs immediate attention, because there's, as you know, limited budget.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Under the highway, one of everybody's favorite is road repair and maintenance and paving, and there was some big dollars there, if I remember right. And I recall that we issued a bond last year. I don't know, $50 million. There's supposedly a big chunk of that was going to go for road paving, so that they can get more done with it. So I guess my question is, the dollars that are for 26, 27, is that actual coming out of our capital budget, or where are the dollars that were issued for the bonds? Are those all used up, or are there more to come for that? Or how does that fit into the plan? Because I didn't notice there was any, bonding or other funding money on those line items.
Yeah, if you
Thanks for the question. I might actually,
click,
Yeah.
we're still showing communication services. If you could click over to highway, Bob's talking about, I think, the $54 million shown for a highway.
Yeah, project 2 there, it's 9 million for this year.
we are
Yeah,
talking about the 59 millions. Okay. If you click on it, you will see that they are talking about 240 miles of public right of way, and this will be over 6 years. So this is unrelated to the bond.
Okay.
so this
You
is
have-
over and above the bonded amount?
Yes, that's different. Yes.
And do you know if all the bonding dollars were spent on paving already, or if that continues as well and it's going to supplement this going forward?
I don't know if they spend money from the bond on actual construction, but they will be doing it soon, which is different from the 240 miles that they are asking for $50 million for over 6 years.
Yeah, because I remember this line item was kind of the every year X miles of the city roads get paved, and they try to do as many as they can, and they have, certain lifespans, like 20 years for each road, even though most of them are probably over that. So they try to do as much as they can. So that's why I understand the 9 million. I'm just curious as to, there was a big chunk of that 50 million bond going for road paving, and whether that was completed or not during this year, or if that's going to continue, or it wasn't used at all. I don't know what the answer is to that.
The best of my knowledge is what I just mentioned. There are separate items, and the $54 million. Let me go over the section you're talking about. That might be easier here. It's highway.
Yep. Yeah, no, I see it's a 54 million total project, and it's 240 miles over all of the city roadway there. They try to do 20 miles a year.
Yes, this is the one you're talking about. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, so they're talking about for this financial year, 9 million. And it's not a secret. The city has a lot of public right of ways that needs a lot of improvements. So I know this is a necessity in some areas, which is different from the bond, because the bond was mainly about, if I'm not mistaken, the one you are talking about is the new fire station bond that included some public right of way improvements. That's separate.
Okay. All right. Let's see what else.
And while you're,
Yeah, go ahead. That's pretty much all I had. I'm
Okay,
good now.
I know some had questions about last year, the budget, how much was actually assigned to the capital improvement. Last year, $57.7 million were assigned for last year's capital improvement. So that's what was assigned.
And that's city funded, that 57.7 million, that's all from the city?
That's correct.
That doesn't include what we might get from the state or the federal government?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I got the answer from our finance department.
Okay. So again, for Sydney's benefit, this doesn't mean that all this stuff is going to get done. This is a glorified wish list. If we had a magic wand, we'd wave it and all this stuff would get done. But like Bob said, it goes from this to some sort of a prioritization process. And other people have to decide what gets funded and what doesn't. But this, it just gives you an idea as to the magnitude and the scope of capital improvements we need in the city. It's a expensive thing to keep the city moving forward, and allocation of scarce resources. Is that fair, Waleed?
Absolutely. That's the main reason we are doing it, just to show the gap between what we would like to have and what we realistically can have. To give you an example, I can go back here. Just that might make it easy for everybody. I'll go back to. Can you all see this one?
Yep.
So, for example, if you look at what is being asked by different departments for this year, you will see this huge number, which is 136 million plus 517,000. I wouldn't be surprised if what gets approved by the budget goes down to 60 million or so.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about the city budget. I'm not talking about now you have this, you can actually, in tandem with what the city is giving you, each department can apply for different funding outside the city.
So just to give you an idea, I think the entire budget, everything for the city is around, what, 330 million plus or minus, somewhere in there?
That's exactly what it was last year.
Yeah.
About what, 190 of it is for the school,
Yes, some of it, yes, is
somewhere in that range, 180 maybe, 190, I don't know.
And then, you've got, everything else, public safety, whatever, so it's a big, expensive city to keep moving forward. And
you know what we are doing fine. Just to give you an example, because examples are easy to understand. If you look at what's going on in downtown in terms of all the sidewalks and improvements, it's over 20 million. Only 8 were financed by the city.
Okay. The rest came from the state or the feds, Waleed?
From the state.
Okay.
Of course, the state means different agencies, so it's not the same agency. That's where it gets to be very complicated.
Got it. All right. Okay, well, big numbers. Hope we can do the best we can and fund all these projects are worthwhile. It's just a question of what they're going to do. So anyway, anything else, commission members, for Waleed? Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, we started down the road of what the general process is for this. So, my understanding was, the department heads would come up with their budgets, and then it would come to, I guess, the planning department. I know, Waleed, from what you've been saying here, you got to know it very, very well and worked with the departments to make these numbers. And then now it's before us, and, we have to do our work here and make sure it looks viable from a planning commission standpoint. Then after that, just in general, high level, what happens and how long does the whole process take? It's going from here to where next, and who has to approve it, and how long will it take?
So to answer your question, it needs to be adopted, be it as it is, or if you actually would like to have changes, that's fine, but it needs to be adopted tonight. And then,
yeah, okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, okay, I understand we have to do something here, but after that, what's the process, I guess, going forward?
We send it to the mayor's office, and the mayor's office will have an official copy. And when they are looking at the actual budget for the year, you will be looking at the document we have and to see how much they can allocate to the different departments based on the financial abilities. So it will be the mayor's office, finance department. They might already be talking before it's being adopted, because there's not enough time between now and the financial year. So you keep talking and they keep finding out which ones are more of a need that must be done by the city, which one can wait for another year, maybe 2 years. And it's a decision made usually by the mayor's office and finance.
Okay, so
Of course, to council after that to approve or to ask for changes.
So the last one you just said was the city council? Is that what?
The last step will be the city council.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you very much. That's helpful.
Anything else, commission members? Again, we have to make a motion to approve or deny the CIP. Again, I would remind whoever's making the motion to amend the CIP remember there was an entry for $5 million retaining wall for the maintenance pool that appeared twice, one under public buildings, once under construction services, I think. So we're gonna have to delete that from one of those two. But I believe that's the only correction that we're going to be suggesting. So with that said, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the capital improvement program budget as presented, subject to deletion of the duplicate items, one of the duplicate items for the 5 million reference to the retaining wall, either in construction services or in engineering.
Thank you, Bob. Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Helen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The CIP moves forward to the mayor's office and to the city council. Thank you, Waleed, for your hard work on that.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. My pleasure. I'm going to mute myself now.
Okay. Looking at our agenda, commission members, as I mentioned earlier, we have nothing under public hearings. We have 2 items shown under continuation of public hearings. And let me just go through those briefly. BRT Sconset LLC, application for revised special exception, revised site plan approval for an existing previously approved cluster development, the Ridgetop sections 4A2B3, 4A26 in the RA40 zone, 10 Damia Drive, F09038, special exception number 589. Let's see here. We have Ally received an email from Steve Sullivan earlier today. Dear Ally, please continue this application to your next scheduled meeting on 2/18/26. No testimony will be heard from the applicant and team. Thank you. So unless there's any other discussion, I'll entertain a motion to continue this matter till our next meeting on February 18th.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Thank you, Helen. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Item 2, under continuation. Danbury Mill Plain Realty LLC, application for special exception site plan approval for automobile service station, service garage, and convenience market, section 3E2, 3E9, 5B2B1, and 9. With trip generation greater than 500 vehicles trips per day in the CA80 zone, 85 Mill Plain Road, D14013, special exception number 805. Looks like on February 3rd, Joshua Padera sent an email to Ally. Hi, Ally. Sorry for the delay. Yes, this is confirmation that there will be no testimony at tomorrow's hearing, and the public hearing should be continued to the next meeting on 2/18/26. Thank you, Joshua. I think it's Pedrera, Principal, Cohen & Wolf PC. So again, commission members, unless there's any discussion, I'll entertain a motion to continue this matter until our next meeting on February the 28th.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, looking at our agenda, we have nothing under old business, referrals, new business, correspondence, or other matters. I think there's a few items under for reference only, which you're feel free to take a look at. Call Ally or if you have any questions. Other than that, I think we're set to go. So unless there's anything else, commission members, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Thank you, Helen. Second?
Second.
Second, Bob. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.